I'm not that guy. I won't do it. I got people who come to me to rent cars to flex. I see it. I see the money that goes into it. I'm like, this is stupid. Great, man. They better sponsor you.
Yeah, I know. That's what I can't wait till they sponsor me, honestly. How's the headphones level? Do you mind turning up the headphones a little bit?
It'll be higher.
Yeah. I can't really hear myself. Yeah.
So I'm still waiting for my guy. Like, do you mind? Is it all right if I keep my phone like
yeah,
here?
no
It's
worries.
like, all right.
No worries.
I don't know if you have any rules for the podcast that I should know, but
No rules. Honestly,
bro.
I started off the podcast like wearing a suit, and it was called Notes of Success originally.
Yeah. I almost came here with a freaking a blazer. I was like, nah.
Man,
sorry.
I wouldn't blame you. I like the blazer look, and I love wearing suits, but at the same time, I wanted my podcast at first to be like more personable. Like I wanted you to be able to relate to me and not look like, oh, I'm coming in as a higher status or anything like that. I just wanted to be like the plain old me.
I'm the same way, bro. I mean, just like no jewelry, nothing like too flashy.
Yeah.
Outside of a car, because I can't not have a nice car. It's part of the brand, you know. But yeah, no jewelry, no designer words, nothing like that. You know, it's no watch, nothing. Just I do have a watch. I just a couple watches. I just don't even like to wear them.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah, and it's weird. Once things started looking up and once I started really growing, I started meeting new people, and some of the new people that I met started looking at me differently. And I didn't like the way they were looking at me, and I didn't like the way they were coming across and how our relationships were developing. So I just decided, I said, you know what, dude? No more jewelry, no Rolex, no, like, I don't even know if I want to drive this car. I might just pull up in a Honda Accord today, you know? And it's just, you know, the last thing you want is somebody like putting their hand out to you. You know, you're in a position right now where you have a podcast and you're interviewing people and you're learning a lot about them. I'm very much in a similar position where I like to learn about other people, you know, and it's like you have to be that way till you die.
Yeah.
You know,
it's really cool. So do you mind explaining a little bit of what you do? Because I see you own a dealership with your brother, but I see on Instagram and the short side of things, you run more of the rental side.
Right.
How does that go?
So family business, car dealership. My dad came here. All right. So let me take you way back.
Yeah.
Right? So my dad, he is one of 8 children in like a single bedroom household, 8 kids, just mattresses spread across, like two children per twin mattress, sleeping in a room with my grandma. And my grandfather was just like this guy who just went working in different areas. He had a butcher shop. So like I know he went to, I think it was Kuwait. He would go to Kuwait, round up a bunch of like farm animals, some goats, sheep, whatever, lamb, bring it back to Lebanon. He'd sell it. He had a butcher shop, but he was always away. So my grandma basically ran that house of 8 children, single. She was pretty much like a single mother at that time in this tiny house. My uncle Suhail, he came here to America, and he was a mechanic in Lebanon. He came to America. He worked at a mechanic shop. He ended up opening up his own shop. My dad at that time was in Saudi Arabia working for like 8 years. And then he came to visit my uncle Suhail every now and then. And then he had a decision to make. It was either stay in America, try to find someone that he could marry, or go back to Lebanon and marry this other woman. You know, he ended up staying in America and you know, met my mom and like chased her down until like, you know, just made it happen. So he teamed up with my uncle Suhail. My uncle Suhail was a mechanic. My dad had an entrepreneurial mind where he wanted to do his own thing. He would literally go to these auctions with my uncle. They would decide, okay, what cars are selling? Mercedes is hot. Let's start out getting these cheap Mercedes that have an engine problem, any mechanical issues like a transmission problem, anything like that. Excuse me, I just ate a shawarma. I almost said sharmuta. I just ate a shawarma. So yeah, they would just go to the auctions, go buy super cheap cars that had mechanical issues like engine transmission issues. My uncle could pull an engine out of a car and put it back by himself. He didn't need any help, and he would do these jobs within hours. Like he was a beast. So that's just kind of how they started. And they would just go buy cheap cars, fix them up, sell them, rinse, repeat. And then they just started kind of making a brand for themselves. And people just started coming and were like, yo, can you sell my car on consignment? And it became, yeah, leave your car here. We'll sell it in consignment for you and we'll take a percentage. Kind of what I'm doing right now with the car rentals. So yeah, I mean, that's how they started. And then from there, they just built up. My uncle passed away in 2018. And since then, man, it's just been my dad and my brothers and me, and we've just been kind of helping and running all these dealerships. My dad has 6 locations. He tried doing something with some other people in other states. It didn't end up working out. But here you have my older brother runs the JS Mitsubishi page. He also has Sell My EV, where he buys tons of EV cars from all over the country. So he was killing it with that. That's really like, I would like to say that's how George's come up really happened, is with Sell My EV, because he was getting a lot of people to come sell their cars. And then he got the idea to start negotiating with them. At this time, I was doing these like cheesy, like, which car's better, this Range Rover or this Lexus GX 460? And like, we would do these comparison videos, but you see those everywhere. And it's so hard to build yourself in that niche. It's tough. I mean, everything's consistency at the end of the day, and you just got to keep putting in that work, and it's nonstop. I think the way that we were doing it back then, it wasn't enough. We were doing like 4 posts a week, 5 posts a week, and it's not enough. And I told the guy, I was like, look, man, we gotta be doing more. Can you come like at least 2-3 days a week, and then we can knock out maybe like 12 videos, like, you know, in a week, and then you can edit those, and maybe some days you post 2. I don't know, it just didn't work out with that guy. But then I saw what my brother was doing with these negotiation videos, and then he just like passed me. He passed what I was doing for the JS Auto House page on social media. He passed me. He was killing it. And then I just kind of sat back, and I was seeing what he was doing, and I was just thinking like, okay, how could I apply like this to my car rental business? And at that time, my car rental business really wasn't anything. It was nothing. So it was really tough for me to figure out how I was supposed to do that. So I said, you know what? I'm still very heavy in the car business, and I do have a way of, you know, filming these, you know, filming these situations with these customers, you know, even if it means just pulling out a camera and be like, hey, do you mind if we film? And just going from there. And that's kind of how I started with me on social media, just filming with random customers that came in, until like kind of caught steam of what I'm doing. Like, hey, I will buy your car. I'm selling cars. And then people started DMing me, trying to come in and sell me their car. But anyway, yeah, my little brother is the real, I've been saying it since he was 13 years old. He's the protege. He's no longer the protege. He is the master of car buying.
How come you say that?
Dude, he's insane. The cars that he buys are cars that nobody in my family would have ever imagined anyone was buying. Like, if you asked me if J&S Auto House was going to be selling the type of products that we're selling today, if you asked me that 10 years ago, I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, we sell Audis and BMWs and Mercedes. That's luxury, right? No. Now it's like Lamborghinis, Ferraris, like Rolls Royce, freaking Bentleys, Range Rovers, obviously, but like every car you can imagine, every car you could think of, my brother's buying it. He just bought a freaking, I think it's a G63 6 squared. It's
the Brabus truck.
The Brabus truck. I just want to say right now, full disclosure, I know nothing about cars, but I'm very heavy in the car business. I know nothing. Like, if you ask me what this car is, I don't know. It looks like a freaking dumpster truck. It's like 6 wheels. It looks like an apocalyptic vehicle, like something that you would need for the apocalypse. So yeah, I'm not the car guy.
Yeah.
I'm proud of my personality. I'm able to talk to the wall. I'll be cool. Like I'll get along with the wall. The wall will love me. Like we'll build a stunning relationship, with each other. But my little brother, super freaking educated, man. This dude is passionate. Like just to give you some perspective, he kind of locks himself in his room and just doesn't come out. He just stays there, and he's on his laptop. He's got this giant screen with his laptop right next to it. He's got like 6 lanes open for the auction, buying cars. Kid doesn't like to be bothered. Don't ask him to go out. Don't ask him to drink. Don't ask him about girls. I learned that a long time ago. When my little brother turned 21, it's like, yo, we're going to celebrate. No, he doesn't want to do that. But I'd be lucky these days if I can get my little brother just to go out for dinner with me. It just doesn't happen. Like I always reach out and I'm like, yo, you want to go get coffee? You want to do that? Because I don't work with my brothers at that location. You might have to ask my family why I don't work there. Hashtag free Alexi, free Alex, free Lex, whatever you want to call me. But yeah, I always wanted to work with my family. It just never really worked out that way that I was at that dealership. I was in our giant location in Mount Holly. It was a warehouse. I was there. I wasn't happy there anymore for family issues, not immediate family, but So then I said, Dad, I'm out. I learned a lot from you. I learned a lot from my uncle, and it's been cool, but my passion is film and television. I want to get back in that industry. I'm going to move back up to New York. He was like, look, just, go in Hamilton. Hamilton's a mess. Your Uncle Salim's leaving Hamilton. No one's going to be there. It's a mess right now. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll go. I went. There's a guy there named Imad. This dude was there for 14 years, like straight up immigrant from Syria, very hard-headed Arab guy. We didn't get along. 2 years, we're just freaking arguing, fighting, and my dad's just egging me on. He's like, just stay there, just correct him, just beat him up. Whatever you got to do, just polish him down. He's like a freaking knife. Polish him down to be like a fork, or if you can get him to be like a spoon, then you did everything you could. Great. So every day I'm just trying to talk to he doesn't speak good English. He was arguing with customers. The lot was like a dump, like probably 40 doors just laying around, like holes inside of the lot. We had 2-star reviews, like 30 reviews, 2 stars. It was a trash dealership. Nobody wanted to go there. So I was like, all right, I like the challenge, but I didn't want to work with Imad. Like I kept telling my dad, like, come on, let's can I get somebody else that, I could work with? And he was like, Alexi, I want to tell you something. There's not many people you can find that you could trust, and he's going to be there every single day. You're going to depend on him, and he know the business inside and out. Trust, like the guy could take 20 grand cash, put it in his pocket, not touch it, and hand it over to you. You could trust him to do that. You could trust him and depend on him to show up 10 minutes before we're supposed to open and stay an hour late if he has to, 6 days a week. Here in America, you don't see people that want to work that hard. They don't.
No.
I just had job interviews yesterday. I've been trying to get people to just come in. I hired a guy. The guy came. You're supposed to come in today. I told my employee, yo, I got the guy, man. He's perfect. He's going to help you out for the car rentals because we're growing now. I need to build the team. This guy's coming in, man. He'll be there 9 a.m. He's pumped. He's legit. He's gonna help us grow. He's gonna do a 4th location. 10 p.m. rolls around. Yeah. Guess who didn't show up today? Oh my God, dude. These people, man. People don't want to work. I'm telling you.
What do you think it is?
The government.
Yeah.
I think they're just used to getting handouts. People are just entitled. There was a guy who came in a few days ago and he was like, yo, do you do buy here, pay here? I'm like, I don't. We can get you a loan from a bank. We don't go backwards. And he was like, bro, I promise I'll pay you and blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking like, all right, I did do this for a few people who rented out on an application through HyreCar. So
Excuse me. What is buy here, pay here? Do you mind explaining that?
Buy here, pay here. Basically, you get a loan from the dealership.
Okay.
And they can mark it up for any freaking interest rate they want, 30%. And guess what? They're taking it. The customer's taking it because no one is approving them. No one's going to give them a car. No one's going to give them a loan. But this dealership will mark up the car and charge 30% interest rate, wrap it into a loan, and make you take it. And this car will be junk. And it will most likely break down before the end of the term, right? But the customer's still taking it. And that guy who sold that car, he probably owns that car for like $500, $1,000. And this guy's monthly payment is probably $1,000 a month.
Holy smokes.
Right? So this guy, and they do this. And this is why buy here payers are going out of business constantly. They're the most corrupt business out there. It's just not lucrative. People are seeing right through them these days. But there's always going to be people with shitty credit that are looking for a way out. Like, they didn't pay the bank. They defaulted on their monthly payments. They screwed their credit. They got in a divorce, whatever the case may be. They don't have monthly income, or their girl's paying for their lifestyle, whatever it is. They're still looking for buy here, pay here. So yes, they exist. Okay. But very often they go out of business and they'll reopen under another entity because they probably trashed their reputation initially with their buy here, pay here. Go find me a buy here, pay here that has 5-star reviews. They don't exist. It's all like freaking just junkyards, bro, that are just selling cars that they own for free, essentially. They're selling them, making $1,000 a month on junk cars. And when they break down and the customer owes $1,000 a month, they are not paying for the car to get it fixed. And then they're defaulting on that loan. And guess who wins? The owner. He gets that car back. He fixes the issue for $400, $300 because he has in-house mechanics, fixes the car, puts it back on his lot, does it again, just sells the car again.
That's wicked.
It's wicked. And it's like, no wonder why these guys have terrible reviews. These are the most corrupt people in the business. Now, a lot of people, though, they start their car dealerships and their enterprises like that. Now, but you have to grow out of it. That's the thing. You can't stay there. You can't keep your whole life, I'm going to be a buy here, pay here forever. No, that's just scumbag, skeevy. Nobody wants to do business with those people. It's not respectable. It's like, I got into HyreCar. Let me take it back. HyreCar, this is how I got into the rental car business. HyreCar. HyreCar is an application where hosts list cars and customers, renters will come and book those cars and use those cars for Uber, Lyft, Grubhub, DoorDash to be an owner of their own business, right? They'll use the car for work, rideshare, okay? So these people, they don't care what the car looks like. Does it run? Does it drive? Great. They're not picky. The best customers in that sense you could ever ask for. But the worst customers when it comes to paying, like in managing, hey, you got to pay. Like, it's a headache. So I started out doing that. Kind of like how a car dealership started out doing buy here, pay here. It's a little skeevy, it's a little scummy, but at the end of the day, it's going to build your capital. And I did it initially because I was born in the hood in Trenton. And I thought, there's so many people around here, they come in, they're looking for a car, they're desperate. What do? They can't buy through us because we only give out loans through banks. Their credit's shot. They can't buy through us. So what do? They go to buy here, pay here's, and they get effed in the A all day. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but they always get screwed. So I said, man, it would be cool to just like help these people. Like we also talked about why are people lazy? Why do people not want to work? They don't want to show up. I also think people want to be their own boss at the end of the day. They don't want to take orders. Yeah. Nobody wants to go to work. And I got to be honest, there's a lot of bosses these days, managers, who don't know how to manage. They don't know how to be a boss. They're rude. They're nasty. They talk down. They belittle their employees. And it's like, you got to bring people up. You can't kick them down. Like, they're already down. How much lower you want to kick them? The dude is washing cars, smelling chemicals all day, and you want to go back there and beat him up? The dude's already down. He's like, this is it, man. So like, you're going to keep beating the guy up. No, you got to talk to that. You got to kiss a little ass. Kiss him. Go get him some lunch. Go buy him a coffee. Spend $10. That's how you get through to people. Being nice with kindness, giving to them. And then they see, oh, this guy, he's going to give to me. He's going to take care of me. He cares about me. I'm going to show him how hard I can work and see how hard, like how high in this business can I climb? And you got to give them that promise. You got to show them like, yo, if, you're working like this, it's not good enough to get here. If you want to get here, I got to see X, Y, and Z. And I know you can do it because you're smart. You have energy. You have great memory. You got a great personality. I believe you can get here. We just got to work on X, Y, and Z. And it's not you. I feel like we could establish a better relationship with customers if we X, Y, and Z. It's not like, look, man, the way you talk to customers is shit. You could establish better relationships if you just, weren't such an asshole when you spoke. Like if you smiled, if you you're putting the guy down now. So it's like the guy's like, oh, I'm an asshole. He's good. You're killing his freaking security, his confidence, So I believe you have to, when you own a business, you have to give them a piece of the pie. And that's what I learned from my father in his car business, watching him do what he does. He wouldn't have been able to build what he built had he not had a good team.
Yeah.
I'm not saying my dad's not smart. He's a genius. In my eyes, he's my idol, he's my hero. But I look at him and he knows he wouldn't have been able to be where he is today if it wasn't for his team, the people he had around him. He doesn't have bums. Yeah. Like, hey, take this car here, and then they take it there, but they sit in the car for like 10 minutes on their phone, scrolling, letting their ass get warm by the heated seats. No, they move. Like, they got to stick up their ass. And if they don't move, it's going to go deeper. So they freaking move. So, yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. I think it was when COVID happened. Maybe it was before that. My timeline's a little fogged. My dad lost a lot of his buyers. The market was crashing, or like not crashing, but so expensive. It was through the roof. My dad could no longer buy the cars that he was used to buying. I could no longer buy the car I was used to buying. I was the economy bro, right? I bought under 30. George bought like 30 to 100. Johnny bought like 80 to $1 million cars. That's how we staggered ourselves, me and my brothers. My brothers and I think we mesh perfectly in the car business. None of us are like egotistical. We all love each other. We all got each other's back. And that's the way you have to be in the car business. People say don't get in business with your family, but you have to leave your family first and last at all times. Don't let a bitch come in between you and your brothers. I never, ever will let that happen. I once had a girlfriend said something about my little brother. Good fucking bye. 3-year relationship out the window. Didn't even hesitate, didn't blink. So, I mean, those are the guys that I was born with, I grew up with, and I'm going to die with. Like family is absolutely everything. Friends come and go. Friends ends and ends. It's, they come and go. So I don't put too many like eggs in those baskets. I put eggs in my own basket. I put eggs in my family's basket. Even if I don't agree with what they say, even if they don't agree with me, and even if they're hard on me and we're hard on each other. It's at the end of the day, that's my blood. You have your cousins, that's family. And those are the relationships that I cater to the most. Now, me and my brothers, I think we fit perfectly in the business. They might tell you otherwise. They might tell you, Alexi's a fuck up. Get him out of here. We don't want him here. Alexi, go rent out cars. Do your shit. I maybe I'm a little bit of a black sheep in terms of like my family dynamic. But from my perspective and from how I came up buying cars versus my brothers, I think we just mesh and we fit perfectly to build something empirical, something insane, like, let's be honest. Everybody can't afford to go get an exotic car or even a $50,000, $80,000 car, but majority of people are buying economical vehicles. So just to bring it back to what I was saying before, I was buying predominantly Toyotas, Hondas, but you couldn't buy those cars anymore when COVID happened because there was a chip shortage. Do you know about the chip shortage?
Yeah.
So there's a big chip shortage in the market. They were no longer manufacturing new vehicles.
I didn't know the chip shortage actually affected the cars. I thought it was just like computers, electronics.
Everything.
It makes sense now thinking about it.
Yeah, and it's because of the fact that everything takes chips now.
Mm-hmm.
Plus with COVID, the warehouses, people like quitting and they had 6 feet distance. All these things combined just created a giant chip shortage in the market. I think there was a chip shortage on PS5s, obviously the phones, obviously the computers, and all the technology in the car. Everything in the car needs a chip. Like, there's not just 1 or 2 chips that go into a car. There's tons of chips that control different things in a car. So Toyota stopped manufacturing cars. And that's the number 1 brand in the world. Was it Toyota? Yeah, the number 1 brand in the world. Number 2 was Honda at this time. If you look at number 1 now, number 2, I don't know, dude. In the past year, 2 years, it might even be Hyundai, Kia. I don't know the numbers. But all I could tell you is Hyundai and Kia, they didn't really stop. Throughout COVID, they were like the one dealership that was packed to the brim. Mm-hmm. And they had new body styles, new cars, sexy cars.
Beautiful.
Look at them now. Freaking Kia. Korea. They're repping for the car industry. Like, I want to go buy a freaking Hyundai or a Kia right now. Like, some of these cars, they look like Range Rovers. Like, that, dude, they definitely came up. They definitely came up.
It's so funny you say that, though, because my sister has she has a Hyundai Sonata.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it like, I love your car. And
Sexy.
I would have never thought it. I was like, this is a beautiful car. Drives beautiful. I'm like, this is for me.
It's for me too. Like, I would get one for the car rental business. Anyway, a girl ended up giving me one. She went to a Hyundai dealership, got screwed. She bought a 2022 Hyundai Elantra, 55,000 miles, stains everywhere, deep dent, one panel's rusting. She paid $34,000 for this car. That's more than a new one. The dealership, there's still skeevy dealerships out there that are like, I don't know how you bump a price $10K. That car is worth $19,900, $18,000. I would buy that car $15,000 in the auction probably. The car is beat. She came to me. She says, I have a health problem. I need to go to Puerto Rico to see my family, and I don't know what to do with my car. I just bought it, just financed it. I just paid my first payment. It's $500 a month. What can you do to help me? I said, give me your car. I'll rent it out for you. I don't know what to tell you. I can't buy you. I buy you out of it. You're going to be flipped $12K.
How much does that mess up the market if somebody else, if a dealership bumps up the price $10K for a car and then they sell that car? Because people are seeing now the car selling for $34, $35, whatever it is.
It's not necessarily the market that it F's up, but I feel like the economy, the banks are the ones getting screwed. The banks are getting screwed because these people are defaulting on their loans. And then the bank's taking the loan. For $34K on a Hyundai Elantra that's worth $18K. I don't know the exact number. Let's say it's $18K. She paid $34. The bank needs to be paid back that $34. But she's like, no, I can't pay it. Take it back. Bank takes it back. Now the bank's in this Hyundai Elantra for $34,000. Bank says, all right, let's get out of this car. Let's take it to the auction. Take it to the auction. And they're like, yo, what? Why is it only doing $16K at the auction? We own it for $34. So what are they going to do? They're going to just sit and wait. The longer they sit and wait and hold that car, the more it's going to depreciate in their face. They have to let it rip. Take it to the auction. They have to sell it.
Wow.
They have a number, like a floor number, like, okay, we'll lose $10K on this. We can't lose 12. So let's say they get that 10K. No sale. They'll leave it for the next week. No sale. Next week. No sale. Once a month goes by, they really just got to freaking take the L. Yeah. It's a bigger, they're already taking an L, but an even bigger L than they wanted to take. Now, multiply that by like 1,000, 10,000. Like, I don't know how many repos these banks are having to do. Mm-hmm. But imagine what it's doing to these banks, and imagine what it's doing to the market. And in that perspective, I think it would destroy the economy. I mean, it's not like 2008. You had the Great Depression with the real estate market, because these are cars. This isn't hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of, losses. Mm-hmm. It's like 10, 20, 30, but these definitely still hurt the banks. And it's obviously hurting people too. Mm-hmm. People have no choice but to do these credit repairs. I'll tell you what, if somebody out there is doing like a credit repair service, they're probably going to be rolling in bank within the next 5 years. I think that would be a very lucrative business to be in, because everyone's credit is going to be destroyed, and people are not going to be able to finance cars. They're gonna have to do some sort of credit forgiveness, and they're gonna need the government to step in to offer some sort of credit forgiveness, because people are getting screwed out here. Mm-hmm. It's insane. I mean, the dealerships are winning. In that regard, they're winning. What did they lose? They got their money from the bank. They got the 34. The bank's the one that's repoing the car and having to sell it. They're stuck with that L. So the car dealerships are winning, but it just makes me sick when I see them taking advantage of people who are so uninformed, like immigrants coming in, buying a car. They barely speak English. Girls, new first-time car buyers. They don't even know what an interest rate is. And they're like, is 20% good? And the dealership saying, usually, like, that's good. I'm used to seeing 28. So yeah, you're good. Wow. And these people that are taking these loans, they're not realizing that they're essentially paying double for their freaking car. Half of it's in interest going back to the bank. So man, it's tough. Like, I empathize with these people, and this is probably why I'm not good for car business, is because I have a big heart. Mm-hmm. And I see these people getting taken advantage of, and it freaking hurts, man. It's like, yo, that's sad. Like, so I felt bad for that girl who had a health issue. She had to go to Puerto Rico. She just got this car, so I took it for her. And I'm giving her, I'm only charging her 30%. Most people I charge 40% for my service. Some hosts will charge 30%, and that's their most expensive. But for me, honestly, I just know what I bring to the table. I bring a lot to the table, and I believe I am best suited to succeed in the car rental business. I'm not like the average guy. I'm not the average Joe. I believe the things that I bring to the table could make anybody more successful in the car rental industry, which is why I decided I'm going to coach and help people and start their own car rental enterprises. But,
where does that belief come from? Is that just from years and years of working in the car rental business?
No, I think that just comes from the fact that I'm not from the car rental business. Mm-hmm. I'm coming from the car business, and I was born in the car business. So all my connections, everything that, makes the wheels turn for me, like, let's say I'm getting wholesale on everything. Mm-hmm. I go to the auction, I buy the car. I put the car for rental. The car gets totaled. I get paid out retail. That's a win. I need tires. I get wholesale price on tires. That's a win. I need to do mechanical work. I have a garage. I have a mechanic. He works $20 an hour doing brakes, rotors, oil change. No labor. I'm not paying labor. I'm calling C&M and I'm ordering the parts. Parts are wholesale. I'm not paying retail for the parts. I'm paying retail for nothing. So yeah, I extend that same offer to anybody who co-hosts with me. If you give me your car, you're getting the same benefits that I have for my cars. But I don't necessarily want other people's cars. I didn't start like that. Just to kind of rewind, I started on HyreCar to those people who need the car for work, and they didn't care what the car looked like. I would buy the car from the auction. I'd be in it for like $6,000. I made it to 75 cars. Average cost $8,000 for 75 cars.
Holy
It
shit.
was insane. And they were all out. Long-term renters. I still have some of those renters in my car. That was when I started in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 years later, people have not only bought my car once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, but maybe like 7 times over, they have bought my car just through renting it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I started, through HyreCar. It just got to the point where I was like, yo, I don't want to chase people for money anymore. So I hired a girl to help me out in the office. And I said, I'm moving back to New York. The whole reason why I started the car rental industry was because I'm passionate about film and TV. And I thought this could be a passive income opportunity for me, but then I learned there's no such thing as passive income. Like, this is supposed to be passive income. So if this is passive income, there's nothing that's passive income. Which brings me to my next point. I do offer passive income for people who want to rent out their car. If you just have to give it to me and I'll do everything for you. So the lie that they told you is that the car rental business is passive. It's not, but I found a way to make it passive through 2 means. You could give me your car. I'll rent it out for you. I'll co-host it for you. And you're just totally hands off. But then you're still going to get bills. You're still going to, if the car gets totaled, you're going to have to meet me at the tow yard.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get the vehicle release form from the cops. You're still in 20%. You're still engaged. You got to buy the car. You still got to, hear from me every month. And so it's still totally not passive. So I said, how can I make this more passive? How could I help out these people in my DMs right now that are like, yo, I got $1,000. How could you help me out? I want to get into the car rental business. I can't, bro. I can't help you out. I got 5. Okay, can you finance? My credit sucks. Damn, what do I do? Like, how do I help these people? So I figured out a way, and it's through my business called CarVestor. You can get into the car rental industry.
Mm-hmm.
You have $5,000 to invest, $10,000. Let's see if $10,000 to invest. Instead of buying a car, give me the $10,000. I will take that $10,000 and invest it into a car that I know works, that I know that I could rent out and maximize profits on. You're totally out. This is essentially a savings account for you now.
Yeah.
It's what is it? A REIT, R-E-I-T?
A Roth, IRA.
I don't know. But those real estate markets, you can invest in real estate portfolios.
Oh, yeah.
This is my real estate portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
You can invest in my car portfolio, essentially, for 10% returns every month.
Wow.
So the real estate one is giving 7 to 8.
Yeah.
They tell you 12.
But it's more like 7 to 8.
I'm in it.
Mm-hmm.
I have 40K in there right now. I'm getting 7 to 8 every month. I don't even get paid out every month. It's like quarterly. So this is what I'm doing. Give me $10,000. I will pay you out 10% a year, and I will pay you out monthly. So I think $10,000. What is that? $83. Should I do this math?
Yeah, I want to hear
it. So if you give me $10,000 times 10%, that's $1,000 a year. You divide that by 12, you're getting $83.33 a month in returns.
Yeah. With 10,000 invested.
10,000 invested.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad. It's okay. It's dude.
It's passive, like you said. Like you won't find that amount anywhere else.
If you're in a savings account, you're dumb. I'm giving you this. I'm giving you an opportunity to earn double in a savings account, maybe triple. I think they're like 3% right now.
3%, yeah. And that's on the high end.
More than triple. I'm giving you more than triple to just give that $10,000, invest it into CarVestor, and we will take that money and invest it into a car, which we will then add to the fleet. It'll bring earnings every month. Every month, I'm paying you out. So it's That's the most passive way I could help these people. I don't think I can get more passive than that. I need a vacation before I try to think about something else because I've been racking my brain on it. I woke up one day at 3 a.m. and that came to my head. So still in the process of like, finalizing absolutely everything, but the website's up. Everything's good. It's legit, man.
And what was the website again?
CarVestor.com.
CarVestor.com.
Yeah. But you could just DM me. Just DM me and we'll make it happen. Right now we're doing everything manually, so all the payouts would be manual. But the goal is, after raising enough funds, we're just going to make the application and we're going to roll with it, man. So
you let me know if you need an app made. I know a few guys. We're actually getting a new application made this week.
We could talk about it. I got a guy, he's my cousin, I put family first, but if you got a guy, I want to keep my cousin involved either way. So we could figure it out. But so that was the lie that I was told, that this is passive. So I decided I don't want to be in Trenton, New Jersey my whole life.
How was it growing up in Trenton?
It was good for me because I was like in sports, I was very engaged the day to day. I grew up wrestling. I wrestled for over 10 years, middle school, high school, college, all year round, all through the summers. Me and my brothers were very engaged with that type of stuff. Mostly me and my older brother. My little brother, not so much because he had an 8-year difference between me and him. Mm-hmm. And me and my brother, we grew up like George. We grew up like very competitive with one another. It started out swimming for 8 years, then diving for 4 years. And then it was wrestling, beating each other up, like, constantly. And he had like weight on me. So I was mostly getting, the ass handed to me. So, but when he started beating me up with his wrestling skills, that's when I said, all right, I'm doing wrestling too. And we were super good. We were super competitive with it. My little brother didn't really do it because he just kind of grew up alone. Mm-hmm. He grew up with my dad. Like my dad didn't have money when me and my older brother were growing up. He had nothing. We barely saw my dad. He'd go to work and sometimes he'd come home at 10 p.m. from work.
Wow.
And my mom, if my mom wasn't like the type that was understanding and that just had like a warm dinner for him to come home and a supportive, voice, loving voice, I don't think my dad would be as successful as he is. He wouldn't have, because women today, they're like, why don't you text me? Why don't you call me? Where are you? Why are you still at work? No, I don't believe you. Oh, I just drove by, blah, blah. No one's got time for that if they're trying to be successful. You can't have somebody like that. And I think back then, those types of women that are just more like secure existed. But now there's just so much insecurity.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it comes from social media.
Definitely.
But it's because my mom was like a little angel and trusting and loving and supportive that my dad was able to be the man he is today. My mom raised me and my brothers. My grandma was a part of it. She was like a second mom to me. And I barely saw my dad, barely got to spend time with him. He would come out for our wrestling matches. He'd be in and out. He'd just come to see us wrestle, 6 minutes, out.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy. But my little brother, he was coming up with my dad because me and George were in school. We were in wrestling. We were in college. We were never really around, and my little brother's, his best relationship was with my dad. My dad would literally like drive around with him on his lap. My little brother was driving at like 6 years old. I knew this kid was a car kid. He loved cars when he was a kid. So my little brother, where like maybe he lacked in sports, he benefited in other areas in terms of the car business, which makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like all those hours that went into his mind related to business and cars, you see it. Mm-hmm. I've been seeing it since he was 16, 17. I think he bought a Range Rover when he was 16. Well, man, we got to get Johnny on this podcast, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
The first car that he bought, I want to say he was 13 years old, but don't quote me on it. But the kid, he easily the most successful youngest car buyer in the world.
13 is insane.
In the world. I say that with the utmost confidence. There's not a single person in this world that was buying cars and as successful as my little brother. There's just nobody. The dude's insane. Go on our website, jsautohouse.com. Look at the inventory. That's him. That's him, bro. So as I was saying before I got sidetracked, ADHD, I wasn't able to buy Toyotas and Hondas when COVID happened because the chip shortage. My dad, he was going to the auction. His buyers were going to the auction. Auction prices way up. You can't buy Audi, you can't buy Mercedes, you can't buy BMW. We were no longer buying cars for wholesale. We were buying them for retail. And customers were paying retail, like double retail.
Wow.
So we were just like buying sparingly. Our inventory was light. My brother, this is where he blew up, buying online across the whole country. That's where he started buying exotics. Some reason the exotic market didn't really get affected by COVID. Like it didn't inflate.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody's looking for a Toyota, Honda. Those prices inflated. Honda, Mercedes, BMW, Audi, they inflated. But Lambos, they pretty much stayed the same. How much more could they freaking go up? Like they're already like $300,000, $200,000. I mean, the people that were looking to buy it before, like they'll still buy it now. It's the same people. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. But things changed when COVID happened. You know, people were losing their jobs and, you know.
Yeah, I was talking to my dad a bit about that because I remember like back in the day, a high car payment used to be $500 a month. Like $500 a month and you're in a nice car. Nowadays, like I told you, my sister went to go buy the Hyundai the other day.
How much?
Like $700 a month. She's a younger, so her credit's not as good.
Brand new?
Was it brand new?
It was used?
Yeah, brand new.
Damn, that's too much for a brand new car. What was the interest?
I'm not too sure. He went with him. He could tell you.
You know the interest?
No. She bought it she has to have a year with it now.
That's what I'm saying is like car dealerships, like they don't even want you to know the interest.
No.
The fact that you don't even know the interest just shows me that the car dealership didn't want you to know the interest. If they want you to know the interest, you would know the interest. Like everybody would know the interest. Half the time, people these days, they don't even ask for the interest. No one's concerned about the interest. It's crazy.
They'll just say, I'll refinance a year later or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's the first thing that dealerships tell you. It's like, it's 20% now, but don't worry. In 6 months, you come back to me. I want to make refinance for you, and you'll be okay, okay? Don't worry, sign. That's it. They just want you to freaking sign, man. So, yeah, car dealership. Janus Auto House blew up during COVID. If it wasn't for my little brother, my dad says it a lot, we probably would have gone out of business. And that's why my dad has so much respect for my little brother and my mom too. Like my little brother, that kid gets spoiled, man. I come downstairs, I see a sandwich under this like pan. I'm like, oh, what's this? Is this for me? That's for John. Okay. All right. Can I get that granola bar? It's for John too. All right. I'll see you guys later. Like, all right, no problem. I'm just going to go get a smoothie or something. I'll just drink water. It's all good. No, I'm just joking. But John deserves all the praise. The kid's insane. He's amazing. Can't say enough good things about him. George, too. George is a freaking doer, man. He's just straight action. Action. Just fucking go. Like, just go. Don't even think about it. Sometimes it bites. You know, he just goes in. I'm more of like the, you know, thinking, introspective. George just goes in. But, yeah, man, I think I like to say and think that we complete each other, you know, to make something awesome. The car dealership is crazy. My dad's pretty much like out now. He just kind of like drives around and you could tell like he's mentally out. He doesn't want to be in it. And I'm trying to push the dude to freaking retire. Like we got it. You know, we're all heavy in the car business. My responsibilities have dwindled lately since the car rental business started picking up and helping out with social media. I just kind of started putting all my eggs in that basket. I'd say I'm probably 75% car rental business and 25% car business. I manage one location in Hamilton and, you know, I just manage problems and drop prices and talk to customers and make content. That's pretty much it.
It's really cool hearing the dynamic you guys have as a family. Because like you said earlier, people always tell you don't get into business with your family. And it's like hearing a success I can't even say the word success.
Screw that word.
A success story is really cool because like this I started with my dad and like I'm trying to grow with my dad, and one thing we always like iterate to everybody is I want to grow this as a family. I'm not looking to make money off of people. I'm not looking like to bring in the highest talent and pay this guy. Like I'm looking to grow this with my family, like the close people around me. I got a brother and sister as well. I'm telling my brother, like, get on stream and I'll edit all your videos. I'll do everything for you. Like, so it's amazing being able to like go with your family and see the impact you guys have on each other. Cause like you said, like hearing your story, I feel like you guys have a yin and yang. Like you said, you're the black sheep. You're a little more out there, introspective, and then your brothers bring you to the other side. You know what I mean? So it's like that nice balance you guys have.
My brothers are very business oriented. I'm very business oriented too, but there has to be some fun sprinkled in there, man, and there has to be jokes. But
when did you start acting? When did that passion for acting and film and TV start?
God, when all my life, man, I've always said I want to be this person. I want to be this. I want to be like a fireman. I want to be a cop. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. And I was always just such a character. Like I was a goofball. Like all throughout middle school and high school, like I was just like a jokester. I was a prankster. I was, crazy. I was like the fun kid. High school, I got voted like most outgoing. I was always like the class clown. I loved to see people emote. I loved effing with people, trolling people, just getting reactions.
Mm-hmm.
I love getting emotions out of people. I like making people laugh. That was, it made me, maybe when I was younger, I felt like I didn't get too much attention. I don't know. Maybe I like had some sort of craving for attention because I was like the middle child,
Mm-hmm.
like I always felt like my older brother, my younger brother.
I'm a middle child too, so I relate to that.
Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Do you really feel that?
Yeah, I definitely do.
And what do you say about that? Do you say that's bullshit? It's bullshit.
It is.
See, that's what I'm saying. My parents say the same thing. My dad tells me I gotta go see a fucking therapist. Like he's like, yo, you got corruption in your brain. You gotta go fix yourself. And I think you should go stay in the desert in Saudi Arabia for a couple years, like me. I'm like, what do you mean, Dad? He's like, Alexi. He said, you have anxiety. You think too much. He said, when I was your age, I was in a container in the desert. I didn't have a cell phone. If I drive in a pickup truck 10 miles in the desert, if my truck die, I don't have a freaking cell phone to call anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I die in the desert. And what are you worried about? You worried your girlfriend broke up to you? You're like, he's right. I mean, like, we have like, our like first like whatever it is, our first world, we have like first world problems. It's
definitely
bullshit. It's just bullshit.
Yeah.
Compared to the shit that he dealt with,
Mm-hmm.
the life that he had. And, he grew up in a single bedroom household, one of 8 children. That's enough like stress right there to drive anybody in the United States crazy in 2025. You try to set somebody up like that in 2025, they're going to grow up a very humble person, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I mean, my dad had a very, very humble beginning. And I think that's what allows us to work with each other and be in the family business. And I see you're a very humble guy. And I think that's why it would work out for you to work with family.
Thank you.
Families do not often work well with each other because there's so much freaking ego, bro. And I think that needs to be recognized before getting into business, because once you get into business with somebody, it's just like, okay, is my ego telling me, like making me want to argue right now? Or is he, it's all ego. Like there's a lot of ego going around in this country. It's like everybody wants to know it all. Mm-hmm. Everybody feels like they know everything. Don't get me wrong. My business name is the Rental Car King. When I came up with that name, I didn't really believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't believe I was the Rental Car King. It's like I made that name and then like the next day I saw like 10 people that were like way beyond my success in the car rental business. And I was like, shit, I'm not the king. But I was like, it pumped me up and it made me want to work harder and to live up to that name.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I landed on the Rental Car King, because I knew I wasn't the Rental Car King, but every day I drove into the lot and I saw that name and I saw it on my mouse pad. I saw it on my business card. I was just going to be like, all right, got to push, got to keep going more, harder. I can't stop. Like 50 cars, not enough. 100 cars, not enough. Right now I'm on path to 150. I don't think that's amazing.
Congratulations.
Thanks, bro. But there's still people out there. There's a guy in Arizona. The dude has like, I think 250, and he's got nice cars.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is they're like sitting a lot of the time. I don't know what's going on there, but like he's got nice cars. He's got millions of dollars in inventory. And who knows? Maybe it's not all his cars. I don't want to be like that. Right now I have about 25 cars that belong to other people.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't build like that. So that's not that's not how I came up. That's not how I built this business. That's, it's not how I did it. And it's not how I want to do it. But the philanthropist in me, just like the guy who wants to help, I'm taking people's cars because I see people buried. People are like, dude, I owe this much. I'm not driving this car. I can't afford the monthly payments. I need a way to make these payments. I need help. Okay, bring your car. And meanwhile, I listen to my dad every other week telling me that I'm stupid for taking other people's cars and problems. And he's like, you can afford to go get your own cars, go do it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know why I do it, but yeah.
I was just gonna ask that. Where do you get that feeling of wanting to help? Is that from your household? Because you told me like your mom always had the sandwich late night for your dad, so you could see how much she cared about him and was always helping him out. I feel like those type of things start in the household where your parents teach you that at a young age.
It's my dad. My dad is a very generous and very giving guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen him give to other people my whole life, people who didn't have. Like a few years ago in his hometown in Lebanon runs on generators, right? There's no like the electricity goes out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. But my dad went to his hometown in Absarma where he owns a lot of land there. He went there, built up my aunt's house, made it brand new. He went there, he installed solar panels in the whole town so the whole town can light up and not have any electrical problems.
Oh my God.
That was, I think that was like a 50 grand investment that he did. And I thought that was really cool. And
that's amazing. Not everyone's doing that, especially nowadays. I feel like people are way too selfish.
Yeah. Like when I saw him do that, I was like, damn, like, that gave me fulfillment, knowing that that's my dad and my dad did that. Like I didn't do it. My dad did it, but I just felt like some sort of connection. I was like, oh, like that. It made me feel good, even though he was the one that did it. And I kind of just aspired to be like that. And that's just an example. He's been doing it his whole life.
Mm-hmm.
He supports all my family in Lebanon. I probably have over 42 cousins in Lebanon. He's paid for numerous weddings of theirs. Like they get married, he'll put up the money for the wedding. He'll put up my cousin's college and high school and school educations. Like he does that, he does all these things for a lot of people. And I don't feel like I have the family in my life like that I could do that for, whereas he's like the big boss and doing it for people like under him and his brothers and his sisters. My brothers don't need anything. I don't have any like nephews or nieces or anybody that needs anything. So I'm like, well, I see these people in the hood and they're coming to me and they're like, I need a car. How could we figure it out? I have no credit. I want to get into this business. I'm tired of being an employee. I want another way to make money. Or I want to get into the rental car business. Or I have this car. I'm flipped. And I just see these people. It's like immediate problems that are coming to me. And I'm like, how could I help? I just want to help. That's what really gives you fulfillment at the end of the day. Like, dude, you could put $1 million in my pocket and it'll do nothing for me. I'd want to go give it away, because the smile that you see on someone's face when you give them freaking $5, like you could pull up anywhere. Like I tip my barber $10. The dude like hugs me like he's never been tipped. And it makes me a little uncomfortable because he has hair all over himself, and I don't want the hug, and he has bad breath. But the dude is like, and I told my employee, like, and he was like, "Oh, you tip?" I'm like, "Yeah, I tip. What do you mean? You don't tip?" He's like, "No, I don't tip." I'm like, "What do you mean you don't tip your barber? You gotta tip your barber." I tip everybody for any service that they provide for me. I tip. You know, I have an acting coach. I go there to do self-tapes in her studio. I tip her. She's like, "No one ever tips me, Alexander." And you know what she does? She freaking gives me free auditions. And I'm like, "Nope, send her the money." It's crazy. You give $5 to someone a couple times and they want to give you the whole package for free. Yeah. It's literally insane. You just overgive to people. Show people that you're not out here trying to take from them and give to them a little extra, and then they're going to want to give back to you. That's just something I learned. And I don't know if I learned that from my father or what, but I definitely learned how to give from him. But maybe I learned that along the way, that the more you give to people, the more people kind of reach out and give to you. Now, it's not necessarily with all people. There's some people who have absolutely, nothing to give, and they're just takers their whole life. They have nothing to give. If somebody doesn't have money and you give to them, they might give back in another way. Like, like my friend, he cleans my apartment. Like he might not take me out to dinner, but he cleaned my apartment and did my laundry and scrubbed my toilet. I was like, "Dude, you don't have to do that, dude. Don't do that. I'll get a cleaning lady." And he's like, "No, dude, it's all right. It's all right. I got you." Like I can't get him not to do it. But yeah, man, it's not why I do it. I do it for the fulfillment. And I guess what I'm trying to say is there's good karma that comes afterwards, I guess is what I'm saying. And I'm not doing it for that, though. I do it to see people light up, because I have what I have and I don't take advantage of it. Like I said, I'm not here wearing a Rollie. I'm not here like flashy. I spend my money on dinner. I want to go out with a girl, go out to dinner, and that's it. Come home, that's it. I don't want to do anything else. I don't want to spend my money in the club, bottle service, getting drunk. Like I don't do this shit. I'm not going to go to Miami tomorrow and spend $2,000 for a day on a rental. I'm not that guy. I won't do it. I got people who come to me to rent cars to flex. I see it. I see the money that goes into it. I'm like, this is stupid. Yeah. For what? You're basically saying, I got nothing to offer this bitch, so I'm going to show up in a fucking Range Rover, look like a boss for a day, then I'm going to drop her off and go back to my fucking mediocre life. To me, it's just stupid. It's stupid. Take that $2,000, invest it into CarVestor. You know what I'm saying?
Let them know.
CarVestor, baby. Go put it in the stock market. You could have fucking put it into Big Bear AI, like 3 weeks ago. You could have made that money back. You could have made triple. You could put it into Palantir. I don't know, Bitcoin, XRP. But instead, you're investing that money into like these relationships. It's like, I don't invest money into my relationships. You know what I'm saying? It's not why I do it. I don't do it to maximize, relationships or relations. Yeah. I don't do that for, So, yeah, I mean, there's no reason to spoil anybody unless they're in your life, like for good, and you love them and they're a part of your life. Like there's no need for it. But then again, I'm not like a, multi-millionaire, billionaire. So it's like, I'm not gonna, obviously I think if I was, I'd be, buying every girl I see a freaking, like a Louis Vuitton bag or something. But, yeah, man, it's,
yeah, it's funny you say that about the people renting cars and trying to flex, because I mean, since we're in the music business, have our own radio station, we get to deal with a lot of artists and stuff. Of course. And now I've seen the back end where like you'll see an artist with a Cuban link, a diamond chain, but you don't know that artist still owes $50,000 on the chain.
Really?
Yeah. Or
they're
like
financing a chain? I didn't know you could finance a chain.
Yeah, you could finance chains, and there's things like, because we're artists, the issue is when they sign a deal, they'll sign a deal, let's say for $2 million. That deal, if they got all that money up front, that's their money for the year. And the thing is, they go buy a house, buy a chain, buy a car, but you still have yet to pay the taxes. You still have yet to do the back end stuff. And there's even situations sometimes you have yet to sell tickets for a concert. So if you can't fill up an arena, like what's going on? Like I know artists, and I know, I'm not going to say any names, but I know people like they'll be in arenas and they'll take pictures and all the crowd's AI generated because it couldn't sell tickets. Like when you hear people like giving away tickets over the radio, it's most likely a majority of the times because they can't sell tickets. Like if you think about it, like why would a radio station be giving away 20 free tickets to a concert if they could sell those 20 tickets at $500 a pop, $1,000 a pop? At the end of the day, they're going to take that money.
It's crazy.
So when you hear like large tickets being given out, it's because they can't get anybody to show up in person.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, the things that people do just to look good, it's like people just try to look rich, and I think the world is catching on.
Yeah.
It's like when you see somebody pull up, it's like there could be a chance that they're broke. You know, you see somebody pull up in a Lamborghini, there could be a chance that they're broke. They just rented that Lamborghini just to look rich. Yeah. It's not going to last long. It's going to last about a month, and then you're going to see who they really are. Obviously, if you're super rich, splurge. But if you're living the mediocre lifestyle, you're like 6 figures, I don't see the point, you know? And I mean, I got 125 cars in my fleet right now. I don't have one exotic. The most expensive car I got is a BMW M3. And it's not saying I don't want to get exotics. I just rather hit that number of 500 cars. I want to hit 500 cars. I want to do it.
By when? Do you have a time?
I'll tell you what. I want to hit 250 by the end of 2025.
Wow.
So I would need 125 cars.
Double.
Yeah, I'd have to double it.
Let's see how.
You're going to write that down? Don't write that down.
I'm writing it down. I'm saving that.
Don't write it down. You're going to hold me accountable.
Yeah.
No, that's right. I definitely hold myself accountable, and I believe everybody has to hold themselves accountable. And that's just like one of the biggest things that I stand by all the time is accountability. I'm in a business where I'm constantly holding people accountable for their F-ups. Okay?
Yeah. You
smoke in my car, holding you accountable. I'm charging you that smoking violation. You do some nasty stuff, you leave a stain in the seat, cleaning violation. You damage my car, damage violation, damage claim, whatever it is. You're late fee. But you know what's funny? People who hit me up and they warn me that they're going to be late, I never charge a late fee.
Yeah?
Yeah, I never do it. There was one time a guy came to me. He said, bro, I'm not going to lie. I didn't notice your smoking violation. I mean, your smoking policy until now. I'm checking out. I smoked in your car. I said, oh, wow. I said, you know what? It's all good, bro. Don't worry about it. You smoke with the windows closed? He's like, nah. I was like, all right. So it doesn't smell bad, right? He's like, nah. I mean, no. I just puffed out the window. We didn't smoke that much. I thought I was with this bitch, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right. You know what, bro? Don't even worry about it. I'm going to send you a discount for future use. Just make sure you come back and rent from me again. I didn't charge him.
Wow.
And that's how big it is for me. So I posted a video. I don't know if you saw this video with this guy. He returned a Range Rover.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that. Yeah. I saw you getting pissed off in that video too. I've never seen you react that type of way.
I was just annoyed because the dude was making all these excuses. And look, I'm not trying to embarrass the guy, okay? If I wanted to embarrass him, I would reveal additional details to that situation that, you know, I know would really damage him. It would really hurt him and whatever his personal life. I don't want to do that. I posted that video strictly for just, I want to spark a conversation about accountability. I want to spark about responsibility. Too often do you see people renting cars that they can't afford. Okay. You can't afford it. Now you're going to smoke in it. You're going to have sex in it and do the nasty in it. You're going to crash it. You're going to F it up. Then you're going to return it to me, and then you're going to get mad at me when I charge you for it and blame me Pointing the finger. How are you pointing the finger at me, bro? That's my car. You just disrespected my property. This is an asset for me. How are you going to do that and sit there and blame me? I do get some people that will just return the car and leave. And they'll be like, scratch on it, a dent, but I don't miss a thing. I see everything. Like I walk a car around the car 4 times, and I require all my employees to do the same methods that I did to ensure that we catch everything, like we don't miss a single thing. Last month, my team's killing it. They're doing great. I don't really do much. I don't do any checkouts anymore. They do all the checkouts, but they don't miss damage claims. One of my employees missed a damage claim in the summer, and I had a talk with him, and then he never missed a damage claim again. But we don't miss, and I forgot where I was going with that. But
I wanted to ask you how you find those employees, because you spoke a little bit earlier about how you were having a rough time with one of your dad's employees, and he's like, "Listen, trust is the biggest thing you can do in this industry."
To go back to that, I realized that, and then I figured, look, there's different personality types. You're not going to get along with, I'm not going to get along with you the same way I'm going to get along with her. And the same way I get along with him. We all require different things. This person, you joke with them. This person, you're serious, you're business. This person, like, maybe you're super sweet, you're soft, you're sensitive. And maybe this person, you act like a conservative. Maybe this person, you act like a liberal. Like, I don't know. Like, there's just, everybody's like a different color. There's this book that I read the summary of. I didn't read the whole book.
I love the honesty.
Yeah. I read the summary of it, but I was like, yeah, dude, that's my freaking life. Like you got to be a chameleon. Like same thing with sales, right? A customer comes in, you want to kind of match their energy, mesh to them, and you want to ask them a lot of questions and just get into them. When I was selling cars, and I told you, I don't know anything about cars, but when I was selling cars, I knew nothing about them. All I knew was that I knew how to just talk to the people, and I loved people. So I just socialized, talked about anything unrelated to the car business, made them completely forget what they were doing, that they were there making the second biggest purchase in their life outside of buying a house. And it made the experience for them absolutely painless, peaceful, just fun. Laughing, joking, talking about like, the Eagles, talking about like girls or society or just anything that you could think of. Again, you got to read the person, try to figure out what they're into. Maybe they're into Trump. Maybe they're not into Trump. So you bash Trump, like whatever. You got to like play the game. There's a game, So sales is very much to me selling yourself. That's when I realized you just got to sell yourself. You don't need to know how to sell the damn car. How many girls do you see enter the car business as saleswomen? They don't know shit about cars, but they're so successful. It starts with their looks and the fact that guys come in and they want to sit down with a girl. They want to look at, they want to look at her. They don't want to deal with this stinky old man with a nasty attitude. They want to fucking sit down with this beautiful woman. Like she's wearing her tight clothes. She's going to turn around and go get the keys and you're going to follow her out to the car. Like this is a man's business. Like you always see men come in to buy cars, right? You don't generally see women going in by themselves to buy cars unless they have to, unless they have no choice but to go and buy themselves to buy a car. It's harder for women. They always want to bring a man to check out the car. That's a man's thing. Cars are for men. You see women that are into cars, but they're a little bit more masculine, or I don't know. I might, strike some nerves right there, but they're definitely, it's an acquired taste for women, and for men, majority of men are into cars. Yeah. Like it's just something in our freaking testosterone where we just get excited when we hear like an engine rev and we're just like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, just want to be in the, we like cars. So when we go there and we see a woman there, dude, half the job is done for her. All she has to do is just like be there. She doesn't need to talk about the car. The guy's not going to sit there and ask her questions about the car. Like, the guy already knows about the car. He did his research, or he's been following Range Rover his whole life. He loves Range Rover. He knows everything about the SVR. So he's coming in to buy an SVR. He doesn't need this girl to teach him about an SVR. He knows about it.
Yeah.
He's been working towards this car his whole life. He's going to buy that car. You know, he came in for the price. He didn't come in because, oh, this is the dealership down the street, and I'm going to go here and see if they can sell me on a car. People aren't getting sold on cars these days.
Yeah.
You have online. It's not the newspaper anymore where you see the car and, oh, here's the price. Oh, okay. This dealership's got it better. Oh, no. You go online, you're comparing cars all around the world.
Yeah.
So it's so easy to see the cheapest price these days. You just put in your radius that you're willing to travel. If you're willing to travel 1,000 miles, you can go pretty far to find the cheapest deal. So if someone's calling you for your Range Rover and it says great deal on Car Gurus, chances are you don't need to try to sell them. Like, don't try to be a salesman, bro. Just be a nice guy.
Yeah.
Don't be a freaking sketchball. Don't like follow them around. Don't hoverboard them. Just, you don't need to do too much. You just got to be a nice guy. Just like be friendly. Treat them like you're a friend. That's like what sales is like becoming these days. It's just you don't need to freaking sell anything. The car's already sold itself. They like the color, exterior. They like the red interior. They like the price. It's done. So you put a beautiful girl there. That girl will sell a lot of cars. She gives good phone. That's all that matters. She's calling leads. She has a nice, beautiful, sexy voice. Getting people in the door. Oh, I'm going to go see that girl. If this guy, same price, same car, same distance, but one has hey, yeah, we got it. It's here. Come take a look. And the other, hi, yeah, it's here. I'm going to that girl.
Yeah.
I want to go see her. Like,
sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
I need to pee so bad.
Go ahead.
I need to run to the bathroom. Sorry about that.
Oh, sorry, bro. Go ahead.
No.
I might need to pee too in a minute. Bro, I feel I'm ranting a little bit.
So. No, I love it. I was just telling him, like, you're doing a great job because I've interviewed a few people where like I love when the guest handles it because that's the whole point of this podcast for me is like I want to invite the guest for them to be able to tell their story, tell their side of things, and like give them a little bit more time to just tell their story because like I said, at least in the content game, I feel like the fans don't get to see who the person really is outside of a podcast format. So what I like about podcasts is like you get to sit down and we get to hear the real you for an hour. Because these, like I sit down and I was editing an hour show yesterday. It took me 3 hours to edit. And when you hear that, you're like, oh my God, this guy's chopping in and out. The only thing I'm editing is throwing my camera to look at me, your camera to look at you. I don't really chop anything in or out.
I noticed that.
Unless the guest tells me. I just like to free ball it and just
clean.
I just like to throw it in because like I want these to be genuine. I want when people look at this podcast to be like, I got to learn a little bit more about Alex, who he truly is, like what he stands for and why he's doing it, which is really cool.
My problem is, bro, I have ADHD. So like, and I do this thing where like I'll take you around and I'll try to bring it back home, but sometimes I get lost and I take a sidetrack and then I try to come back to bring it back home. But so if you have specific questions, I'll just answer them.
Yeah.
And I won't get too crazy. But I don't even remember what we were talking about before. The Celsius got me lit.
Yeah.
I don't drink Celsius. This is like doing cocaine for me.
Yeah, me too. My mom actually, she bought a big, the 30 pack. And I never, like, I stopped drinking coffee. I don't drink any caffeine. And then recently I've been, like, just really slow in the gym. And I'm like, you know what? F it. I'm going to take a Celsius every day. And I go there wired. Like you said, I feel like I'm doing cocaine when people say cocaine.
We're in the gym,
like,
bro. Oh, my God. I didn't sweat this much, like, in the gym today. Damn.
And it's crazy because we have this temperature down. It's supposed to be, like, anybody else walk in here, they'll be like, oh, I'm cold as hell. But we're all Celsius. So we're wired.
Lit right now. We're lit. We're lit.
But the only question I did want to ask that we haven't gone over is, what's that feeling like when you go on your first big TV shoot, big movie shoot? Because I saw you were on the Blacklist, and I saw you were on a couple other big shows. Like, what is that feeling like? Because listen, I'm a civilian.
Right.
I can't act. I have no I just have no skill in acting, so I feel like I would walk into a set and I'd be intimidated. Even here, like, this is my home, and sometimes I feel intimidated when I turn on all these lights and the microphone's going. Like, how do you deal with that?
God, I just got shivers, man, just thinking about it. It's I was actually just on set about a month ago for Law and Order, Organized Crime. And, man, you're there, like, it's such an out-of-body experience. Like, you're on set, these giant cameras. So, like, I see these cameras, I'm like, like, those cameras, they're huge, giant lenses, freaking 2 people holding it, one's mounting it, the other one's like, and you got like 4 of them or 6 of them in a circle, and then you got 60 people behind all the cameras, just like standing, like, oh, you better not fuck up, I want to go to lunch. Like, they want you to nail it. If you don't nail it, then the director's like, I want to see it like this, and they make you run it through again, and you're cold, you're outside, and like we filmed in the winter, so it's like, dude, we're all bundled up. Like, I film, we step off for notes, we get like wrapped up in a jacket, hair and makeup comes up and like dabs you up, and then they like disappear, and then people come up to like fix your clothes, and like, you know, like it's just hectic. It's absolutely wild. It's totally different than doing something for fun with your friends, you know. Doing it that level, it's exciting, man. It's just, you feel like, I felt like I made it, you know. There's different goals that we set for ourselves. You know, when we say, oh, I made it, like, I made it, you know, my goal was just to be on TV. And I'll never forget the first day I booked a role. It was on the Blacklist Redemption. So the original Blacklist ended. Yeah. But it was such a popular show that people wanted it to come back. So they invented the Blacklist Redemption. But they didn't have that guy named Red in it when everybody loved that guy. So I booked a role on it. Terrorist. My specialty.
How'd you feel about that?
In the beginning, I was a little like, my mom hated it. She was like, oh, I want you to be a prince. I'm like, Mom, it's not what you see me. It's what they see me as. They see you as a terrorist? Well, yeah, you know. I speak Arabic. So that's enough for them to just be, yeah, this guy would be good for this. I mean, that's where we're often portrayed in that industry. Were you about to say something?
Is there any other languages you speak other than Arabic?
Spanish, a little bit. Because me encanta los novelas. Putatis. I mean, you know, I love the putatis, the Spanish putatis. Sorry, that might have been rude. But I love the girls. I love Spanish girls. I love the food. I love the country, the culture. It's very much like Middle Eastern culture. We're loud. Our music, our food, like, it's very similar. We're very similar. So yeah, when I booked the Blacklist Redemption, I was sitting downstairs in the basement with my little brother and my dad. And I go on this audition, right? Like a week earlier, and I'm late. I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm definitely not booking this. I'm like 10 minutes late. This was like in 2017 or something. I get there, and there's this Lebanese casting director. She's like there, and I'm like, I'm chatting her up. Like, I'm just trying to, like, you know, I'm flirting with her a little bit. Like, she's older, but I'm not like trying to get in her pants, but I'm just like flirting with her, you know, being friendly. Got her laughing a little bit. I do the audition. Then she starts asking about me. She's like, oh, you're Lebanese. I'm like, yeah, I'm Lebanese. My family's in this town, blah, blah. Where are you from? And like, we're just chatting a little bit. I leave. Guess she liked me, because a week later, I get an email from my manager telling me that I booked a role. I was freaking through the roof. I was like, dude, I booked my first role. I was like, Dad, I'm going to be on TV. What do you mean? Like, I'm going to be on TV, man. I booked a role. So what's that mean? Dad, I'm going to be on TV. How? I booked a role, Dad. I booked it. What's this book role? Dad, I went, you know that audition I went on for the TV show? Yeah. Okay. I got the job. Oh, how much you get paid? Oh my God, Dad, it's not about the money, man. Yeah, I know, but I want to know how much you get paid. Okay, Dad, I got paid, I don't know, probably like $1,000, $1,400. Oh, how long you need to be there? I don't know, a couple hours. It's good. It's good, man. Good for you, man. Okay. Yeah. you going to be in the whole movie? I'm like, no, Dad, it's a TV show, and I'm just going to be in for like a couple minutes. Oh, that's it? What do you mean? Like, he didn't get it. And then I remember when the show actually aired. He was like, as soon as he was watching it, I came on TV. He's like, I leave. He's like, I come back. He's like, and then it's over. And my mom's going crazy. My mom's like, oh my God, it's so bad. Like, she was going, wow, she's insane. I look at my dad. I'm like, what's up, man? What do you think? Yeah, you coming back? No, that's it. Oh, okay, I could change it?
Oh my God.
Like to my dad has such higher expectations for me. You know, way higher than both my parents do. But I think that's all parents, you know.
Yeah.
Parents, they see the most in us, you know. It's us that fucks it up, and we say, oh, we're not good enough. But yeah, my dad sees a lot. And after that, I booked Madam's Secretary. And then, God, I don't know. After that, Mr. Robot, FBI Most Wanted. I can't even freaking remember all of them. But yeah, I booked a few shows, man. I've been on a few shows. My credits are there. I'm happy. It doesn't pay the bills. It's not like I'm expecting my life in my career to take off as an actor. I do it because I love it. And at the end of the day, I want to tell stories. I want to tell my own stories. I have stories that I want to tell. I have a feature film that I want to tell called The American Dream, and it's about my father and about his life. And I even have a story about, you know, my life as like a Lebanese Arabic kid wanting to be an actor and like basically telling his family that and how they react because it wasn't positive, you know, like everybody looked at me like I was an idiot, you know, and my dad was like, okay, well, at least I have two other boys that are going to be in the business. He's like, well, they will support you. And you will marry a rich girl. I'm like, Dad, I don't want to marry like Alexi, just don't worry, man. I have a rich girl. I want to introduce you to her. I'm like, Dad, I don't want to marry a freaking rich girl. I'm fine. Like, I'm gonna figure it out. So he just very much doesn't. I don't want to say he doesn't believe in it, but he knows how freaking hard it is, and my dad's like very like conspiracy. He's like, this is corrupt business, man. He's like, you want to get to the top, you got to pay someone, you got to fuck someone, you got to do something to get to the top. He's like, how you think Taylor Swift made it to there? Yeah, you're doing this. I'm like, all right, Dad, whatever you say. Like, he's real old school. You know what I'm saying? They still tell me to go be a lawyer. They're like, you'll be a great lawyer. And I'm like, all right. I bought the LSAT book. Fuck, dude. They were happier than when I was on TV like 4 times combined. Like, they were just like, ooh, I'm a lawyer. I'm like, yeah, fuck that. I don't want to do it. But yeah, man, being on TV is awesome. It's a lot of fun. You show up on set. The food that they have is like the best layout of food you've ever seen in your life. The budgets that these production companies have are dumb. Like they really fit it into the budget to add a chocolate fondue on the side of set and a big food truck, like a chocolate fondue fountain. Like they had that. Like why?
Why?
Like, dude, it's just crazy. The budget that these production companies have, like ABC, NBC, CBS, they're huge.
Did you ever expect it, like going into it first?
No, no. I mean, even the fact that they put me in this little trailer, it's like a freaking like 10 by 10 trailer. And I was ecstatic. That was my first trailer that I got. And then I realized I was like, oh, I can be in that trailer. I could be in this big trailer. There's like full bedroom and a couch and bathroom and stuff. So yeah, I mean, didn't expect it. But after the first 2 times, and you kind of learn everyone has their job and they just want you to succeed. They want you to do it. They want you to do it to your best ability so that they can move on to the next thing. Yeah. Because an episode takes a long time. It's not like they're going to knock out an episode in a day. They're probably knocking out like 10 minutes of the script a day. Wow. You know, if that, you know, it depends on the scene. It depends on how much choreography there's in the scene, the lines, and if the actors have their lines memorized. Some people show up to set, they don't even have their lines memorized. So you need to have your lines memorized and their lines memorized. Because the director could flip the switch and be like, you know what? I want you to play this role.
Mm-hmm.
I swear. When I showed up on Madam's Secretary, I was a featured extra, which is like, I was in like a few minutes and they featured me. Like it was like close-ups and everything. They're like, it would be nice if this guy one of these guys said a line. Do either of you speak Italian? Yeah, I was like, yeah, I speak Italian. I don't speak Italian. They're like, yeah, can you say like, excuse me? I was like, mi scusi. They're like, perfect. That's perfect. All right, so you say that line right there. And they end up paying me extra now because I have a line.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. You just have to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to just be ready for the moment. Mm-hmm. Like if they ask, stand up. You're ready. Just be a soldier. I just showed up on set for Law and Order, Organized Crime. I was supposed to be heavy number 2, 4 lines. And the other guy, heavy number 1, has 5 lines or 6 lines. And he has like more. I wanted heavy number 1. I show up, the director, he comes up to me and goes, Alexander. I said, yeah. He's like, you had an excellent audition. I'm like, thank you so much. And he was like, okay, so I want Alexander to be here. And then the assistant director was like, oh, no, but that's heavy number 1. That's where heavy number. Oh, no, I thought Alexander was heavy number 1. And then everyone's like in their iPads, like, just like awkward. He's like, yeah. I envisioned Alexander to be heavy number 1. And then everyone's like, okay. And then he's like, Alexander, did you prepare the lines for heavy number 1? I was like, I'm sorry. He said, Alexander, do you know the lines? No, I'm sorry. He asked me, did I prepare? Yes. Mm-hmm. He said, Alexander, did you prepare the lines for heavy number 1? And I was like, no. He's like, but do you know them? I was like, yeah, I know them. Great. You're going to be heavy number 1. We're switching you. So they just switched me like that. 20 minutes later, we're filming.
Wow.
So it's like, you have to just be ready for anything to happen, because when you're on set, things could be crazy. Like you don't know the production. Like some productions super organized. Some productions, they might throw curveballs at you nonstop. Sometimes you might show up to set. They don't like the way you say your lines. They'll just cut it. They'll cut the character. They'll cut the lines. They'll just probably keep you in, but no lines. It happened to me on the Blacklist. They cut like 2 of my lines. I had like 8 lines, but they cut 2 because when you're on film time is fast.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta, and these small roles, they just want you to help the story move along. You're not the lead character, not even a supporting character. You're a co-star. They just want you to push the story along, so, just move it along. You're not going to sit there and have these dramatic pauses, these moments. Like you're not the guy, you know what I'm saying? So you kind of just got to the more you do that, and that's what I learned the first couple times. When they cut those 2 lines, I was like, how did they do that, bro? I was like so upset, but I learned from it. I learned that it's not about me and my character. Mm-hmm. It's about that guy. So I got to get the story moving so we can get the camera to that guy. Otherwise, they'll cut my line and they'll just go to that guy anyway. So that's what I learned about that.
Yeah, it's really cool what you said, because I always tell people, the opportunities are always going to be there. The only thing is you're going to see if you're ready or not when the opportunity comes. If you don't prepare, you're not going to be able to take advantage of the opportunity.
Prepare for what you are brought to do, but also be prepared in the event that there's more that you have to do. Mm-hmm. So if you have to be there for 3 hours, mentally prepare for 6 hours. Mm-hmm. If you prepare for 3 hours and you have to go over 3 hours, you're at 3 hours, you're ready to get the F out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you get out, if you prepare for 5 hours and you get out in 3 hours, you're excited, you're happy, So I always prepare for the worst in every circumstance. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. That way I'm optimistic and I'm positive throughout the whole thing. But then if something bad happens, it's okay. I'm not going to complain. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. I thought this was going to happen. This isn't that bad, So you got to prepare for the worst.
What are your goals in acting moving forward? Do you want to take a bigger role?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did book a role. What was it? I think it was, it might have been FBI Most Wanted. I said last year, I think it was in 2023, my New Year's resolution was to get a role of a character that has a name.
Mhm.
Not like I'm bodyguard number 1, driver number 2. No, like those guys that had lines, but they weren't like people with names.
Mhm.
So I was like, I want a freaking name. Next month, I booked a freaking role with a name. His name was Wasim Barati. I was like, dude, this is sick. I got a last name too. So I was like, that, like my goals were very like small. So I was like, okay, great. Now what's the next one? The next one is I want a supporting role.
Mhm.
So I've always been under 10 lines. I want to be like in the whole episode. FBI Most Wanted, I was in like half the episode. It was cool. And it was almost like a supporting role, but not cutting it. I want a supporting role. I want a reoccurring role. I want a reoccurring role in a TV show. I think that'd be really cool. And you'd have the opportunity to make some decent money doing it. And I am fortunately in a position where I could shut off my phone at any time and I have my team to manage it. And at the end of the day, I could check in and answer whatever questions or solve whatever problems need to be solved. If I didn't have a team with my car rentals, I wouldn't be able to do that. So
That's amazing. So do you think social media has helped you build your career in acting as well, like get your name out there? Or do you think it's just been your pure work in acting?
no, I don't think at this point social media has really helped me.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. I've been told that casting directors, they like to see that you have a life
Yeah.
and you're not desperate for roles.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. Like I show up to auditions literally not giving a fuck if I book the role or not. I don't give a fuck because I'm leaving there and I have shit to do. And I'm going to be filming anyway. I have content, social media content I'm going to be filming. I'm going to be talking to customers. We're acting every day.
Yeah.
You're acting right now. I'm acting right now. Everybody's acting. Like you go to the supermarket, you don't think that cashier is acting. You don't think the manager is acting at the bank. Like they're all acting. You complain about the waiter, the manager comes over, he's acting. He's not really a fucking nice guy. He just doesn't want you to write a terrible review. He's trying to fix the situation. So everybody is a character, Acting is reacting. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
The more natural we are, that's beautiful acting. If those moments where you're like talking to a friend or like you're talking to your girlfriend or your family and it's like no shit's given. It's real. It's back and forth. No thoughts. Just they say something, you react to it.
Mm-hmm.
That is acting. That is beautiful acting. If you see that, that's like what you want your performance to be every single time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think social media has really helped me at this point with my acting career, but maybe the casting directors have seen my social media because I'm sure these days, like, why wouldn't they Google you and look up who you are? If I'm casting for an independent film, I'm going to want to cast the guy who has the most followers because I know he's going to post about my independent film to all his followers. That's free marketing. So if this guy has 120,000 followers and I cast him in my feature film and he's slightly worse of an actor than that guy who has 500 followers, I'd rather take this guy with 120,000 followers because it's going to be good marketing. Maybe with my directorial skills, I can help him to act a little bit better and some good editing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll make it work, So they do want stars.
Mm-hmm.
But do the big productions want stars? I don't know. Because CBS, NBC, these are these big productions. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily that they need it, but maybe that's just maybe just a little naivety. Maybe they really do still look out for that stuff, even though they are these big, jumbo billion-dollar production companies. Maybe it does play a role. I could tell you, when I have my IMDb link in my bio and a video goes viral on my Instagram and people click my IMDb link, it makes my star meter on IMDb shoot through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
So like last week, I had a viral video. My IMDb star meter was the highest it's ever been. Anytime I was on a TV show, it shot up. I wasn't on a TV show, but it shot up from a viral video. So anytime your IMDb profile is clicked,
Mm-hmm.
it gives you a higher ranking. So
That's
maybe
pretty
it
cool.
helps like that. Maybe.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you audition for my production, I'm looking at how you fit next to this guy who's maybe 20 years old. If you're 40, he's 20. Does the age line up? No. And I throw you into this group. Do you look younger with this group or do you look older with this group? Do you fit into this family or no? Do you just look like a friend? Like, do you guys look like brothers? It's typecasting all day long. I told you, I get cast as the terrorist all the time because I speak Arabic and I have Arabic features. I have dark features. I'm always the villain. I'm always the bad guy. So it's very much everything is typecasting. So it's best not to take it personal if you don't book a role. Maybe you do have the followers, but maybe they just really want the look that you don't have. So I learned a long time ago, you can't get discouraged in this industry. You can't get sad if you don't book a role. It's not your fault. You didn't book. It's fine. You weren't, it's not the look they were looking for.
Yeah.
Maybe they wanted somebody who was skinny. They didn't have muscles. Or maybe they wanted somebody who was jacked and ripped and you don't have that. So that's why it's best to just be prepared. Be jacked and ripped. It's easier to get fat than it is to get jacked and ripped.
Yeah.
So take care of your body every day. If you're in between fat and ripped and fit, where do you stand? They're going to look at you. You're either going to be the fat guy or the ripped guy. You're either going to be like the girl next door or you're going to be like a little innocent, naive princess. It's like you're going to be like the virgin. Like, who are you? Who are you portraying yourself to be? Do you want to be like the jock? Do you want to be the nerd? You got to freaking fall into it, whatever it is. If you're the fat guy, you better get freaking fat. You better be the fattest fat guy, like jiggly, and embrace it. Love your fat. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to be the jack guy, those abs better be popping. You know what I'm saying? You can't have like abs. Like, no, see those abs because you're taking off your shirt and every other scene. You're having sex scenes. You got to rip off your shirt. A bunch of females watch this show. We got to have a guy with some serious sex appeal out here. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you're going towards, go in at 110%. And I honestly believe I'm not where I want to be in that regard. And I don't like to make excuses for myself, but I definitely, see, I see myself not even close to where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. Every day I wake up and feel like, I go through my day. At the end of the day, I feel like I didn't do enough. I always feel like I didn't do enough. And I always feel like there's more to do. I always feel like I wish I had more time. Let me go to bed early so I can wake up early tomorrow. And the best days are the days where you wake up early and you're busy all day long. You just grind. And you get to the end of the day, you have this sunshine inside of your body that's just like illuminating outward. It's just, you feel so freaking happy, man. Just like, there's no better feeling. Like, you can have sex with a freaking 10, a model. That's not going to make you feel as good as if you go and accomplish something and be successful. That is like, that feeling takes you to the moon. Like, there's no better feeling than that, success.
How do you deal with that feeling of feeling you didn't get enough done? Will you just sit down, plan your next day even busier? How do you get around that feeling? Because I know sometimes, like, I have that feeling. I hear my buddies talk about it too. Like, you try to like take over the world in one day, and you're like, there's not enough hours in the day, and you feel overwhelmed, and you might feel anxious. How do you get around that feeling?
I get terrible anxiety. I really do. I don't sleep. It's bad. Like, if I feel like I'm not where I'm supposed to be and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing and I'm behind, my mind wakes me up at 3, 4, 5 in the morning. And it's literally up to my willpower at that point to decide, do I force myself through an hour and a half trying to sleep to go back to sleep? Or do I get up, go to the gym and start my day right now and then go to bed at 10 p.m. that night or 9 p.m. that night? So it's my mind literally wakes me up. You can't sleep. It's like, if you want something and it's in your head, you're not going to sleep. You won't be able to sleep. you'll wake up. You won't be able to fall asleep because your mind will be running, and you won't be able to sleep in. Like, I'm telling you, some days 3, 4, 5 a.m. I'm just like up. Like, in order to go back to bed, I need an hour and a half to try to get back to bed. It's so hard. So, yeah, man, it's all about willpower. And I'll tell you, it's even harder in the winter. You know, the seasonal depression's a real thing. It's definitely hard to wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning, go outside, get in your cold ass car, drive 15 minutes to the gym and get out of your car just when it warms up, and then walk outside in the cold again, and then go beat yourself up in the gym for an hour and a half, back out in the cold when you're wet, sweaty, back to your apartment, cold shower, if you will, whatever you want to do. Like, you know, that's like the ideal, right? That's every day. Try to set that, you know, and that starts you off for an amazing day ahead. If you start your day off with those struggles, you know, that intensity, the rest of the day, you're happy, you're in a good place, you're motivated, you're energetic, you're moving, you're excited. So yeah, I just think that is the ideal situation, is just to wake up early. And it's like you said, how do I deal with it? It's kind of like deals with itself. If I'm upset, I didn't get enough done, I need to get this done. It's just in my head. It's not going to leave my head if I really care about it. It's going to wake me up. It's, you know, it's just going to attack you. Yeah, I think, you know.
What role does fitness play in your life? Because I could tell you're jacked. I said
Not jacked. I actually just had a tonsillectomy.
Yeah.
I lost 20 pounds.
Wow.
I'm still not fully healed. I still need 2 weeks is what the doctor told me. She told me originally it was going to take me 14 days. I was going to be good. It has been 6 weeks right now. I'm still have like swelling. My uvula, the dangling thing in the back of my throat, my ding-a-ling, I like to call it. My ding-a-ling's still swollen. And sorry. No worries. I'm like little PG-13 sometimes. All right, anyway, yeah. So yeah, it's still swollen. I lost 20 freaking pounds, man. And that was probably 18 pounds of muscle I lost. So I was discouraged. Like, I was like, fuck, dude, I don't even want to go to the gym right now. Like, all that hard work that I put in the past years, like gone. Like, I look at myself in the mirror. I haven't been 180 pounds since I was in high school. I'm 33 years old and I was 180 pounds. So yeah, it was freaking discouraging, bro. When I saw that, definitely unmotivated me. Definitely didn't want to go to the gym to like put that work back in. But I mean, I'm back at it, bro. I was out for like a week. I mean, it's tough. Like, I'm still not fully healed, but I'm back at it. And you just gotta, I always said, I'm not doing this to look good. Doing it for my mental. That's why I work out. If I don't work out, if I don't burn that energy that I have inside of me, especially if I'm living in an apartment and I'm working at a desk half the time, and you know, if you don't get your 10,000 steps, like, we as humans are not meant to get under 10,000 steps. Like, go back ages ago, like, we didn't have cars, you know, we wanted food, we ran and got it, we hunted for it. Like, that was like us, like at our peak. Like, that's how we're supposed to live, I believe. I don't believe we're supposed to be sitting here for half our day, 10 hours looking at a freaking screen. It's not healthy.
No way.
It's actually like attributing to depression and anxiety, in my belief. And then you add the cold in there, no sunlight. Yeah. Dude, like, people, no, seasonal depression is real. All right. So social media, depression and anxiety freaking is real. Like, you got to put a timer on that shit. I got a 15-minute timer on my social media, all across all platforms. And it's literally just enough time for me to get in there and post, and I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, the moment I start scrolling, I do this. What am I doing? What am I doing? And I just kind of freaking scroll out, and I just close it. Get out of here. You get lost, bro.
Definitely.
And they know what you want. They know you want to look at big booty bitches, so they're going to show you big booty bitches. No, I'm just kidding. But they, like, you know, I'm very passionate about politics. I'm very passionate about, like, I like seeing the breaking news, what's going on in the world. I like entrepreneurial stuff. I like educational things. So when they say something about like, I don't know, SpaceX or like Elon Musk or like, and it's like this engaging clickbait caption, it's like, I have to freaking watch it. I got to click. And it's like, but me in the social media industry now, I'm like starting to come up and I'm posting clickbait content. I'm starting to understand. It's just clickbait, man.
Yeah.
Just close it. It's not real. It's not real. Like I watched 5 minutes of a video just to watch the 10 seconds that I want to see. And I'm like, dude, I just wasted 5 minutes. What am I doing, dude? It's sick, dude. It's really sick. So you need the gym. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs the gym. Like I go to the gym these days. I see people in the gym that look like they don't even work out. Like it's crazy, dude. It's not easy, but you have to be disciplined. And once you're going, like that discomfort with getting up and forcing yourself to go to the gym, it goes away.
Yeah.
And no one's ever regret working out. No one ever in the face of the earth has ever been like, oh man, I wish I didn't do that workout. Like, no, come on, dude. Like it feels good to be sore. Feels good to break that sweat. You get your endorphins, your dopamine release, whatever you want to call it. And, then you just like, you see that freaking fried chicken, you see that fried calamari, you don't want to eat it. Mm-hmm. You suddenly like want to eat cleaner. You don't want to smoke. You don't want to drink. You don't want to do those like those vices anymore. It's just like the more you lead with a healthy lifestyle, the more it follows you, I believe. So it starts with the gym. I don't think I could eat healthy unless I went to the gym. Like working out makes me want to eat healthy. It's weird. Yeah. It's really weird.
You don't want to lose the gains. Like you want to take advantage of working out.
It's that, but I don't have a craving to eat garbage. Like I almost threw up working out because I was working out so hard because I'm so out of shape. I don't want to go out and eat like a nasty, greasy, freaking fried cheese steak, whatever. Like I don't want to eat no egg rolls. Like I want to eat something really healthy, like wholesome, just clean eats. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know if other people get like that too, but I used to smoke. I would go to the gym. I wouldn't want to smoke. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like I cleared my lungs. So I don't want to like do it, like hurt myself again.
Yeah. I was actually talking to my dad about this the other day because one of my buddies were over and we were looking to order food, and I was just like, I don't order food out anymore. And my friend's like, you got a bunch of things here. You don't know what to order? I was like, I can't do any of this fast food anymore because it just like, it goes straight to my stomach and I feel terrible. Because I go to the gym every day. So it's like, good. I want something that fuels me instead of like taking my energy down. Like now if I have, let's say McDonald's or I had pizza yesterday and it put me to bed. Like it made me feel terrible.
The carbs, dude. Yeah. Just like that bread. Yeah. Cutting carbs. You try to cut carbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to, honestly right now, I don't try to cut anything because I'm skinny. Same thing happened. Yeah. Like I used to be around like 200, 205 and then I got in a car accident. And then I messed up my back, my neck, tore my meniscus. And I used it as an excuse, honestly, for a long time to like, try to get my body feeling better. And then one day something happened. I'm just like, let me stop being a pussy. I got back in the gym. Everything was hurting, but now everything's stronger. Like I just needed to get the muscles back. And now I'm like building it back up. But I've just been so busy. And honestly, my diet is the one thing missing. Like the weights, I could lift them and I go in and work every day. I just know I'm not eating enough protein, eating enough meals. Sometimes I consume one meal, sometimes no meals, 3 meals. Like I'm just all over the place.
Protein.
Yeah, but I just need to establish my podcast, get this side of the business going, and then I could focus a little bit more on my protein and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, dude, when you have like meals there for you, it's just so easy. Like whenever I stay at my mom and dad's house, I'll stay there a couple times a week because it's next to the dealership. It's just so convenient, bro. Like you go home, your mom just made this. It's a homemade meal.
Yeah.
It's clean. It's healthy, It's the best thing. Here in my apartment in Kearney, I'm like, oh, dude, what junk am I going to eat tonight? Or what healthy food am I going to overpay for right now? Like,
yeah, that's the thing too, right? All the healthy foods are really expensive.
Yeah. So you got to do those like meal preps or just even better, cook. Nobody cooks anymore.
Nobody
cooks. Well, women don't cook anymore. So now men are like forced to learn how to cook, but we don't fucking cook. We don't know how to cook. We don't have time to cook. We're, like, it's funny. Like, we work so hard on our careers, on our success,
Mm-hmm.
getting money in our pocket. And then when it comes to like taking care of ourselves, sometimes people, they just take a step back in that regard. Like, oh, fuck, I'll eat this. I'll like, I have friends who work to the bone. They work nonstop, but they eat McDonald's every day. I'm like, dude, like, you're working to put that shit in your body?
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like you're doing everything right. You're living like a golden lifestyle, and then you go ahead and you put that junk in your body. Barely digests.
Yeah, because one thing I've been hearing recently is like you could have 99 problems, but if health is one, it's the only problem, which is insane.
So true, dude. That's so real. When you're sick, all you want is to be better.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not well, when you're down, you're out, all you want is to be better. There's nothing else in the world that matters. You could sell you probably sell this whole studio.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, just to be better again. Just to be able to like walking on the street, being normal again. Health is everything, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely everything. So, yeah, I mean, I
wanted to ask one more question before we head out of here. I ask a lot of my guests this, but what would your advice be to somebody younger right now wanting to start and be an entrepreneur or chase their dreams, whatever their dreams are? What would your advice be to them?
In any business?
In any business. Because I was speaking to my last guest. I'm about to release the podcast tomorrow. I spoke to him where I feel like this day and age, people will stop dreaming. Even I found myself, like once I graduated college, I was like, all right, I got a nice job. I'm going to stick to this. I'm going to make enough money to be happy, buy a house, buy a car, be good. But then I realized, I was like, shit, when I was 12, 11, even 5 years ago, I was dreaming of buying the mansion, buying my dad a house, buying my mom a house. And then those dreams disappeared because I got comfortable. And then I not only noticed it in myself, but everyone around me. And then I'm just like, why?
Yeah. I would say my advice to any young person that has entrepreneurial mindset and wants to be successful is, you just said it right there, stay uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get comfortable. You go to work, 9-to-5 job, come home. When you're craving comfort, when you want to go and you want to, do these vices, maybe I don't know what people do when they go home. Some people, they go straight to the couch, they watch a TV show. Some people go smoke a joint, they relax, comfort. They sit with their dog, they go see their girlfriend. Comfort. Everybody seeks comfort after their 9-to-5 job. And I think that's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not putting in work towards what you're passionate about, something you want to do, how are you gonna make it to the next level? How are you gonna make it out of that 9-to-5 job? So you do the 9-to-5 job, but then go home and work on that thing that you love to do. If you love producing music, okay? If you want to be a music producer, go home and, work with that recording artist. Or if you want to be like a content creator on social media, like a comedic content creator, go link up with your troupe. If you don't have a troupe, start by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Get like posting videos every single day. Aim to post one every single day. Once you get some viral hits, people are going to hit you up. Oh, they're going to DM you. Going to be like, hey, I like that video. Oh, I see you're in New York. Oh, hey, I like to do the same thing. Check out my page. Let's link up and let's do it. So you're going to start to connect with those people now. So first, do whatever you want to do by yourself. It's going to suck. You're going to do it quietly. You're not going to, have fun doing it. It's going to be a grind. You're going to be tired, but the more work that you're going to put in after you work, the closer you are to seeing those dreams come to fruition. That's what I think. So stay in your discomfort,
mm-hmm.
And it's funny when I was in a relationship, I just got out of a 3-year relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I was up before this relationship. Then we got together and I started to flatline. I stopped making content. I, stopped making people laugh. I stopped joking. I became more stressed. I became more stressful, like aggravated. I became less of myself and more of a shell
mm-hmm.
of myself. And that focus and energy that I was putting towards entertainment and social media and content creation, I started to give it to her. And, I think I don't want to say girls are the devil, because there's obviously women out there who are kind of going to ride your waves with you. And they're going to be like the storm to your wave. Like they'll be the storm to make your wave bigger or something like that, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? If you're the boat, they're the paddle. Whatever. Or vice versa. You're the paddle, they're the boat. Whatever. It's just like you working together to move forward. But like without, the boat, without me as the boat, we wouldn't float on the water. But without her, like I wouldn't have the ambition or drive to go further than I would have gone without her. Like maybe she's the type of woman that really pushes you and really encourages you. You're at work and you're busy. You don't have time to text her, but she sends that random text like, hey babe, I was just thinking of you. I hope you're having a good day. Push yourself. I love you. I can't wait to have an amazing life with you, or I can't wait let's work really hard so that we can go on vacation and take a break from all this and all that. Just something positive, something encouraging to push me forward. And not a lot of women are like that these days. I think a lot of women are very, very selfish. Yeah. So I think relationships are very dangerous. If you're not with the right person, it can literally destroy you. So it's so important these days to just make sure, don't be desperate, and I'm telling this to the young people, because when you're young, you hit puberty. It's like, there's all this sex talk and everything, and your testosterone, and everyone's getting a girlfriend, and you feel pressure to get a girlfriend and to not be a virgin and to have sex. I think that could be one of the most dangerous things for a kid to have sex, because when they have sex, they enjoy it so much, they crave it.
It's all they're focused on.
They focus on it. Like a girl walks down the street. If they're focused on their work, a girl walks by, they can't focus. They lose all ambition to just look at that ass. It's all about that ass. So, I was watching something with Trump. They were saying, hey, does Barron get a lot of girls? And then he's like, I don't think he's old enough for that. I don't think he's ready for that, or something like that. Like, I was like, fuck yeah, dude. I respect that. Like, this dude has everything in his life. Everything to lose. The moment that kid goes and loses his virginity to a woman, who knows what kind of woman it is? If it's not a good girl and she's kind of like self-interested and selfish, like, who knows what could happen to that kid? Like, who knows where his mind's going to go? Right now, he looks like he could be a president in the United States one day. But if he goes down that rabbit hole, he has all the money in the world. He could blow money on he could have 100 girlfriends, right? Yeah. And I'm sure every girl freaking wants him. But like, with good direction and discipline and leadership from his dad, it's so easy for him to navigate around that bullshit and stay eyes on the prize and focused. That stuff will come. Girls are going to come. Like, forget about, no pun intended, but like, I'm saying, like, you're going to graduate high school. All those people that are making fun of you for being a virgin, they're gone. You're going to go in college. New people are going to know you. If they find out you're a virgin, you're probably going to forget about all those people too. The people who aren't calling you a virgin, those are the real ones. They're cool. Don't be focused about being the cool kid. That's going to destroy you. When I was younger, I was like, I was all over the place. There was a time where I was like, oh, I want to hang out with the cool kids because I was getting rejected by them. I was the new kid in school. Don't want to be the cool kid. That's my advice. Don't want to be the cool kid. Don't chase tail. Don't worry about having a girlfriend. Worry about how you're going to get money in your pocket, and discover your why. Why are you doing it? What's your why? So discover your why. Don't get distracted. Don't fall into the pressures of society of, needing to do anything in particular. And yeah, just like you said, man, stay uncomfortable, stay dreaming. If you have that dream and it's so high, if it's to hit like the stars, like they say, like, aim for the stars, land among the moon. You gotta shoot really, really big. And then you have to like set steps in your goals, right? Like, oh, I want 100 cars. Now I want 150. I want 250, 500. So yeah, if I was a kid, man, don't go out drinking. Don't go out smoking. pressures of society, man. There's just too much pressure, especially now with social media. It's so easy to get caught up in that shit. And girls, you open up your phone. If you look at one girl's ass, you go to your Explore story,
It's
your
insane.
Explore, it's everywhere.
Insane.
BBLs, BBLs, and tummy tucks. So yeah, man, I just think it's just so important to just stay disciplined, stay focused, take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of your pocket, that wallet, fill the wallet, because you as a man, you have nothing if you don't have the ability to provide. You have nothing. If you're nobody, you can't have anything. You could be a sexy, good-looking guy, but guess what? Once you're 30 and you're losing your hair and you got a beer belly, no one's looking at you anymore.
Yeah.
You know? You need money. Like, unless you want to date a girl who's okay with being a bum and she's trashy, she curse at you, she like talks shit to you, and it's not like she wore Converse shoes, and it's like you want a freaking classy, nice woman who's going to treat you with respect. She's going to cook for you. She's going to massage you. She's going to love you, support you emotionally, give you affection, respect. It's the most important thing. So you gotta see what you want for your life and shoot towards those things. You know, if you're just desperate, cool with any bitch,